When we talk about securing our future, everything from technology and green energy to national defense, what we're really talking about is securing a domestic supply of critical minerals. And a huge turning point in that mission might be happening as we speak, deep in Northwest Alaska. So let's break down exactly what's going on and why this project could be such a massive deal for the US. That's the CEO of Trilogy Metals, the company right at the heart of the Bornite Project. And trust me, he is not just spinning hype here. A whole series of recent events have completely changed the game for this project, taking it from a far-off possibility to something that feels like a very real, very strategic priority. So what on earth just happened? Well, it's been a flood of incredible news. First off, the all-important access road needed to even get this mining district going just got its presidential permits put back in place. Then, the federal rights of way were officially signed off on. Basically, the green light for access is on. But this is the real kicker. The U.S. Department of War has signaled it wants to be a strategic investor. On top of all that, the company locked down a new financing facility, which gives them incredible flexibility. This combination of government backing and financial firepower, it's a total game changer. Okay, so with all this momentum building, what is this asset that's at the center of all the excitement? Let's take a closer look at the Bornite Copper Project itself. Right, so this isn't just some small mineral deposit. Bornite is an absolute monster. We are talking about one of the most significant, highest-grade copper resources on the entire continent that hasn't even been touched yet. And the crucial part? It's right here in the United States, which brings us to why this matters so much. Copper is officially a critical mineral. It's the absolute bedrock of the green energy transition. You can't have EVs or wind turbines without it. And for national security, it's in everything from the advanced wiring in our fighter jets to missile guidance systems. Having a large, secure supply right here at home isn't just a nice-to-have, it's a must-have. And Bornite looks like it could be a massive part of that solution. Having a great resource is one thing, but you've got to have a credible plan to get it out of the ground. That's what really creates value. So, how exactly are they planning to get this copper from deep underground in Alaska all the way to the global market? Let's check out the blueprint. The plan here is really straightforward, and it relies on proven modern methods. It all starts by creating these access tunnels, or declines, to get to the ore. Then, they'll use efficient underground mining techniques to get it out. From there, it's brought to the surface, hauled just 30 kilometers down the road to their nearby processing facility, and then milled into a really valuable copper concentrate that's ready to be sold. Simple and effective. And this isn't just some idea sketched on a napkin. Now, this engineering flow sheet looks pretty complex, I get it, but the key takeaway here is one simple, powerful word: repurpose. They plan to modify the existing processing plant they already have at their Arctic site. I mean, this is a brilliant move. It's capital efficient, it's going to save a ton of time, and it shaves hundreds of millions of dollars off the cost compared to building a new facility from the ground up. Super smart. Okay, so the engineering is smart, the resource is massive, and the strategic need is crystal clear. But what about the money? Does it actually make financial sense? Let's take a look at how all of this translates to the bottom line. Let's just start with the headline number, shall we? Based on the initial 23-year mine plan, the total projected revenue over the life of this thing is nearly $8 billion. That's just a staggering figure that really speaks to the sheer scale and quality of the copper that's just sitting there in the ground. Of course, it costs money to make money. The total operating costs over that same period are pegged at about $3.6 billion. And what I like here is that the breakdown shows these costs are really well understood. Mining itself is the biggest piece of the pie, which makes sense, followed by processing and transport. This kind of transparency just shows that the financial model is built on a really solid, detailed foundation. So this chart breaks down the investment it's going to take to get the lights on and keep them on. You've got an initial capital injection of about $503 million to build out the mine. Then, over the years, there's another $363 million budgeted for what's called sustaining capital. Things like replacing equipment and continuing development. It's all laid out. Okay, let's pull all of this together. We've got a world-class asset, a detailed plan, and some really compelling economics. So what are the key takeaways for anyone watching this project move forward? So, if you remember one thing, it's this: the single biggest hurdle, getting access to the site, has been massively de-risked. The company now has flexible financing options in its back pocket. And maybe most important of all, there is now a clear strategic alignment with the U.S. government. All of this gives investors some serious long-term leverage to this undeniable trend of securing our own critical minerals. Now look, let's be real. No project this big is ever a slam dunk. There are still complex permits to work through and future financing needs down the road, but what's so compelling here is how these powerful tailwinds are directly countering those potential headwinds. The road permits and rights of way tackle that execution risk head on. And the government investment and new financing facility, that's a powerful backstop against any funding or market worries. The scales have really tipped in their favor here. Which really leaves us with one final big question. All the pieces are falling into place. A world-class resource, a meticulous plan to get it out, and now direct backing from the federal government. So you have to ask yourself, are we watching the birth of America's next critical mineral stronghold?